Please let me know if you're able to view my screen.
Yeah, we can see.
I hope everyone created the custom objects that we have given some assignment a few days back, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I need to still submit the document to Devika actually.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'll do that maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. So whenever we create an object, you can see this page. So once the object is created, you can find the custom object definition detail. So this is the object detail page. So these are all the fields that you have given. You have given while creating the object. So this object name and plural label, API name, and these are these checkboxes and everything. And these are the standard fields that will be created by Salesforce automatically in this object. So one is the name field and owner, last modified by, created by. These are the standard fields. We cannot edit these fields created by, last modified by. Okay, and these are the custom fields that we have created. And if you come down, you can see the related lookup filters. So here the lookup filters are used to filter the records when we look up for one-side records using the lookup search icon. So this comes in the lookup relationships. So when we create a lookup relationship on the child side, it will be if we create related lookup filter, it will be useful to filter the parent records. I think it will be better if I explain this while explaining the lookup relationship. I can show you. And coming to the validation rules. Validation rules are nothing but the rule which we write to validate the data that we are entering in the record. So it just validates the data. It's not part of the admin, but you can let me open a new record. If you want to validate some data, let's say this is the minimum pay and we have the maximum pay. So if you want to validate a specific data in any of the fields, if you want to validate like maximum pay should not be more than 1 lakh, let's say. So we can write a validation rule to validate this data. If the user tries to enter the maximum pay more than 1 lakh, then it will throw an exception. It will throw an error. So that's about the validation rule. So it just validates the data that we are entering in a specific field. And triggers are part of a development. So trigger is nothing but when we update something or when we insert something or when we delete something, if we define any action, so it will perform that specific action. So it will trigger that, it will execute the trigger immediately after the operation, what we have done. So if you write a trigger on insert, if you write a trigger on delete, so if you write a trigger on update, so if you write trigger on any event, that specific trigger will be fired if you do that operation. And page layout. Page layout is nothing but the design of the page. So what are the fields that we can see on the page, and what are the sections, and what are the buttons, and what are the related list, everything. So it is just a design of the page. Again, it's a different topic. Better I'll explain this while explaining the page layout. Okay. And field set. This is also part of a development. So field sets it's nothing but a group of fields that we can use in our Visualforce page. So if you want to use some specific fields on different page layout on different Visualforce pages, so we can make those specific fields as a field set, and we can use them in multiple pages. So the next one is a compact layout. So this layout is nothing but it will be having the main fields that we can see in Salesforce on mobile app or in Salesforce Lightning. So we can create a compact layout and we can include the fields which we want to see in mobile or which we want to see in the Salesforce Lightning. So we can create this compact layout and we can assign this to a record type. Okay, these are the compact layout is nothing but the main fields that we want to see in the mobile application or Lightning. And the Sage layouts. Sage layouts are used to display selected fields in different areas like search results, lookup dialogues, lookup phone dialogues, and everything. So, okay, I'll explain this when we create records and when we create lookup relationships and everything. And these button link actions. So these are nothing but the buttons that we have in standard Salesforce page. And this is the record type. Record types are nothing but, so these two are actually interrelated, page layout and record type. So we can create a page layout, and to assign the page layout, we need a record type. Okay, these two are interrelated. I'll explain them both at a time. And Apex sharing reasons and Apex sharing recalculations. So these are related to, again, development. So it's nothing but sharing the records with some other user. So these two are to share the records, and that using the Apex, but not using the sharing rules and not manually sharing. So these are related to the Apex. So developers will do this. And coming to object limits. So here you will see the limit of this object. So what are the fields? See, you can see the custom fields. Usage is 11, but limit is 500. So we can create 500 custom fields on this object, but we have created only 11, and the percentage is 2%. And relationship fields. So we can create 40 relationship fields on a single object, but we have created none. And workflow rules, total workflow rules, approval process, active lookup filters, and validation tools. So these are all the limits that we can do on a specific object.
Murli, I have a question.
Yeah.
What's custom relationship fields? Did we?
Custom relationship fields are nothing but the lookup and master detail, those two. So we cannot create those fields more than 40 fields. So we can create maximum 40 fields. Are you clear?
Yeah, so sorry, I was on mute. So what I'm asking is, we learned custom and standard fields, right? So
Yes.
is this something different, or it's a similar way we create?
That is a custom relationship field is nothing but it's a custom field, but the data type is lookup or master detail.
Master detail.
Yes, lookup or master. You can see when we click on new button, you can see right lookup relationship and master detail relationship, and this external lookup relationship. So these are the relationship fields. So if I select lookup relationship and if I create a field, then this will be this becomes fun if I create a field. As of now, I don't have any relationship fields in this object, so it's showing 0. We can create maximum of 40 fields.
So is this like a primary and foreign key
Yes,
relation?
yes, exactly. It's not like so we'll be having two relationships. It will be like
Isn't it similar to parent-child?
yes, exactly. If you have any idea about it, it's related to it relates to tables actually. So if you have any idea about any database, so it relates to tables. It's like a primary key and foreign key exactly.
Okay, got it.
So we have to pick we have to create a field and we have to pick the value from the parent to relate the data.
So Murli, on the same topic, I got a question.
Yeah.
So can you delete the parent without leaving the child alone?
Yes. We can delete the parent in the lookup relationship without deleting the child. But in the master detail, if we delete the parent, child will also be deleted.
Yeah, because that's the RI.
Yes. So that is the main difference between the master detail and lookup.
Murli,
That's,
I
yeah.
have a question actually.
Yeah.
So this limit, like the 40 custom relationship field limit 40, it is limit for per user or per page?
It's per object.
Okay.
For this
It is
specific
not
object.
for per user.
No, this is for specific object. So if the object is common for everyone, right? So this if we have this position object, so in this org, so this is common for every user.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the data, I'm talking about the field.
Okay,
Yeah.
just
These are the fields that we have, right? So every user will be able to see only these fields, not any other fields. So I'm
But
talking about the fields.
But only when you give permission, right? Only when you give permission while creating that, it is visible to all the users.
Yes, that is the visibility. That's giving the permission. But actually, this object is having these many fields.
okay, which we create.
Yes,
Okay.
only these custom fields. Here
Okay.
they have mentioned the custom fields.
Right. Okay.
Any more questions?
So can we mark this particular, when we are doing the custom relation fields, right? Can we mark those fields as a unique constraint? So just correlating with the relational database,
No, if actually see one parent can have many childs, right? So we can even achieve one. Are you talking about the one-to-one relationship, right?
Yeah.
So we can even achieve one-to-one relationship, but not directly.
Okay.
So we cannot make the lookup for master detail unique. So because one parent can have many childs, many child records. Any more questions? Okay, and coming to workflow rules, so that is also a different topic. So it's a big one, it's a big topic. So we'll explain what is a workflow and everything, workflow approval process and everything. If you have any questions on this detail page, you can please ask.
No.
Okay. Okay, I'll go with the permission sets now.
Can you go a little bit up, come down?
Yes.
I see some field dependencies. What is that?
Yeah, field dependency is nothing but so if you want some field to be depending on other field, then we can create a field dependency. Like we can click on the new and we can select what should be the controlling field and what should be the dependent field. So it's nothing but like if you have let's say you have two fields, country and state. So you will be having different set of countries, and in states will be for every country will be having different states, right? So once if we select the country, then only it will be having the states, right? So for that specific country. So in this case, the controlling field will be country and dependent field will be states. So if we select the country field, then it will display the list of the states on the state field. Let me show you.
Okay.
I'll explain this again later on. So it will be again different topic. Let's say here we have a functional area and job level. Here we have two different things. See, you can see if I select finance, okay, we don't have a dependency here. Okay, we'll create this dependency then. So here you can see the list of the values FN1, FN2, FN3. So these three are related to finance. Then HR1, HR2, HR3. These three are related to human resource, and IT1, IT2, IT3. These three are related to information technology. Let's assume. So if I select finance, then I should be able to select only FN1, 2, or 3, but I should not select HR2. Okay, let's assume that case. And if I select HR, I should select only HR1, 2, 3, not any other field. I mean, not any other value. And if I select IT, then I should select only IT1, 2, or 3. Okay, in that case, the controlling field should be functional area, and the dependent field should be job level. Let's create. Sorry. Let's select the controlling field, functional area, and dependent field is job level. Continue. Here we have to select the values. You have to click. You have to just select this one, and you have to hold the control. Then you have to select FN2, FN3. So under finance, you have selected FN1, FN2, FN3. Coming to human resources, you have to hold the control button, and you have to select HR1, HR2, HR3. And in IT, you should hold the control button and select these remaining values. And you have to click on include values. So these values will be included to the specific functional area. And save. Now you can see, I'm just refreshing the page. So you can see now this is disabled. Once we select functional area, then only it will be enabled. So I'm selecting finance. Now it's enabled. I can see only three values. And if I'm selecting HR, I can see only HR related values. And if I select information technology, I can see only IT related values.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, so this is a field dependency. So it will be useful when we have country and state, and so these kind of specific values. Okay, any more questions on this page?
Only can you show us where did you created those
Yeah.
different values? Sorry.
So we have to go to the custom. Let me go to this. So you have to go to view fields. There you can see the custom fields and relationships. You can see 3 buttons: new, field dependencies, and this tracking. So here you have to click on field dependencies, and then you have to create a new one.
Excellent.
Any more questions on that page? Okay, if you don't have any questions, then I'll go with the permission sets. So what is a permission set? Let me go to setup and search for permission sets. So you can find that under manage users, permission sets, and permission set groups. Let's click on the permission sets. So here, what is a permission set? Permission set, it is also a collection of settings and permissions that provides more access to the users. So whatever we have defined in the profile, so that will be common to everyone. So that once the profile is assigned to 10 users or 100 users, so that will be common access to everyone, to all the users. If in case if you want to give extra access to 2 or 3 users, if you want to provide extra access among 100 users, then we cannot change the profile, right? So if we change the profile, then that will be applicable to all the users, to all the 100 users. In that case, we have to create a permission set, and we have to assign this permission set to those users. We can provide the extra access to the users by using the permission set. So there are some inbuilt permission sets that we can't edit actually, these permission sets. And let's click on the new. So here you can see the new button. So you have to click on new permission, new button. Then you have to give some label. And just giving sample 3. So you don't need to select this one. And one more thing, if we select the license, then you can assign this permission set only to the specific license users. So I'm not selecting any license, it's none. And here you can see the assigned apps, assigned connected apps, object settings, app permissions, Apex class access, Visual Force access. So these are all the assigned apps. It will specify which applications are visible in the app menu. So this is the app menu, right? So in this app menu, which applications should be visible? Once you click on the assigned apps, edit, you can select the available applications. You can select the available applications to enable the apps, and you can save it. So only those applications will be visible in the app menu. This is the for connected apps. You have to click connected app is it's again the different thing. I'll explain it later. Connect apps. So, this will be useful when we do the integration. And coming to object settings, if you want to provide any extra access to the objects, you can go with the object settings. Then you have to, let's take the position object. Yes. Let's give me a minute. Sorry, guys. So if you want to give any extra access to the object setting, so to any object, you have to go to the object settings. Then you have to click on the object, on which object you want to give the extra access. So here I'm selecting positions, edit, let's say the user is having read, create, edit access, but he's not having a delete access on position object. So if you want to provide delete access, then you have to check this checkbox, delete. So if you check this checkbox, automatically that edit and read checkbox is also checked, because without read and edit, you cannot delete the record. So you can check the checkbox and you can just save it. And if you assign this permission set to any specific user, so he's not having delete access on profile on positions object. If you assign this permission set to that specific user, then the user should be able to delete the record as well. So this is to provide the okay.
So Murli, here sample 3 is a username, or is it alias, or what is it? That's a user for the user, right?
Sample 3 is a permission setting, so which I have created.
Yeah,
it's a name of the permission set.
The name of the permission. So I was thinking more like a user. You're trying to assign specific or extra privileges to the user.
Yes, if you want to assign extra privileges to the user, then we have to create the permission set and we have to assign this to the specific user.
Okay, so we have to create the permission set first, and then we can assign that permission set to the particular user.
Yes,
Okay.
we have to create the permission set, and then we have to select the access. I mean, we have to select which access we want to provide. If you want to provide the extra access on object, or if you want to provide the extra access on application or any Apex class or any Visualforce page, then you have to select that one, and you have to define that access in this permission set. Then you have to go to the manage assignments. Then here you have to click on add assignment, and you have to select the users here.
Okay. So for each permission set, each type of permission set, we can have a separate sampler too, right? And then we can assign to whatever the
No,
user.
this is a meaningless name. Actually, we have to give the meaningful name. So if you want to, like the name should be, if we are providing access on the positions, right? So we have to give the name like position object, delete access. So we have
Got
to define, we have to give the name like that.
Okay, and that permission set we can have assigned to any user we
Yes,
want. Okay.
yes.
Got
Then
it.
you have to
Okay.
click on the manage assignments. Then you can assign this permission set to that specific user.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Any more questions, guys? Okay. This is the app permission, so we can provide different access related to the applications. And if you want to provide any, if you want to provide access to any Apex class, then we can do that by using the Apex class access and Visualforce page. Actually, these two are related to the development, Apex class and Visualforce page access. And if you want to provide any access to any user about the Visualforce page, then we have to provide the access from here. And coming to external data access. So it's external data source. It's nothing but it's not from the Salesforce. So we have to add the external data source. Then we have to provide access to the user on this one. And these are not the related. And flow access, it's not part of the admin. Name to credential. Name to credential is nothing but again, this will be useful in the integration. Okay, as of now, we'll just concentrate on this assigned apps and object settings. But if I go to object settings, let me take another record for another object. Okay, I'm able to provide the delete access on lead object, but I'm not able to provide on positions object. Let me check on that one again. I go to positions. Selecting view all. Okay, it's allowing. So you have to define the access, define the level of access on a specific object. Then you have to go to the manage assignments. And here you have to click on the add assignments, and you can select any user. So if I select this one, assign, was not assigned to when user see the image below. Sorry, the user is inactive. Okay, it's inactive. Let me make the user active. Again adding, click on add assignment, and I selected this user, assign. So now this user is able to delete the records and view all the records on positions object, and this user is able to delete the records on a lead object. Any questions, guys?
On this page, why role is not come up? I think yesterday we had given that role, right?
No, this is to provide the extra permissions which are not in the profile. So role is again related to the data hierarchy. So it's not related with the role. It's related with the profile. Is that your question?
No. I thought yesterday we had given the roles to the users and it is not displayed. But yesterday we have not given any role to the user. Actually, we have not assigned any role to the user. Now I remember it.
So yeah. Are you asking about this?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, role is not mandatory actually. We can save the user without giving the role, but we cannot save the user without selecting the profile.
But when we so this red color itself
Yes.
required information.
It considers it considers a non-specified also as a value.
Okay.
Role is not mandatory. Any more questions? So if I talk about this custom permissions, metadata, custom settings, and custom metadata types, actually it's not a part of an admin, but again, it's too early to discuss about these three things. And coming to permission set groups, let me open this. So permission set group is nothing but if you want to assign multiple permissions to a single multiple permission sets to a single user. So we have to group we have to combine the permission sets into a single permission set group. Then we can assign this group to a user. So you can have to click on a new permission set group and then save. And here you have there are two options here: permission sets in group and muting permission set in group. So let me click on permission sets in group. Here, add permission set. So if you want to the permission set which you want to add, so you can add the permission set from here. Done. Then again, here we have to go to the manage assignments, add assignments. Again, you have to add any user. Then the level of permission, the permissions that we have, the access that we have defined in these two permission sets. So those will be assigned to that specific user. what else if we want? So let's assume that in permission set 1 we have given access to positions object, and in permission set 2 we have provided access to lead object and some other X object. So in first permission set we have given access only to positions object, and in second permission set we have defined access to the lead object and some other object X. So if we want to provide any user only for the lead object and positions object, but not to the X object, so what to do in that case? So in this case, if we just group these two permissions, and if we assign this permission set group to the user, then he'll be having access to the object X also, right? So if we want to remove that one, then you have to go to that muting permission set in group. You have to click on this one and new, save. You have to open this, and let's say that object, you have to go to that specific object, and okay, let's go to lead. So we don't have object X, right? So I'm just going to lead, edit, and here you can just select, if you don't want delete access, then you can just select that delete checkbox and you can save it. Then that user will not be able to delete the record on the lead object. Okay, let's consider this permission set group, whatever we have created. So in first permission set, we have access to we have delete access in the lead object, but in second permission set, we have delete access on the positions object. But we want to give the user access on the both objects, on lead and positions object, but we want to remove the delete access from the lead. So in that case, you can go to that muting permission set in group. You can go to that option, and you can select that object, and you can select this delete, and you can save it. So if we define this muting permission set, then the user will lose the delete access on the lead object. Any questions on this permission set group? Permission set and permission set group. Group is nothing but it's combining the permission sets, combining the different permission sets. And if we among all the permission sets that we have grouped, so among them, if we don't want any specific access, then you can go to the muting permission sets in group. Then you have to deselect that option. I mean, you have to select that mute option. Any questions, guys? Actually, earlier we didn't have permission set groups, so it's introduced newly. You can please ask me if you have any questions on any topic till now. So on profiles or permission sets.
Murli,
Yeah.
is this the same in Lightning version also, or is it different?
It will be same. It will be same in both the versions.
Both the versions. Okay.
Yes, and the UI will be this UI will be same. This UI, whatever we have in the permission set and permission set group, so this will be same.
Okay.
And till we go to permission set, that will be different. The way we open the permission set will be different. So once we click on the permission sets, then everything will be same. I mean, the way is also same to go to permission sets, but the look and feel will be different. So here we will be having setup option here, and the quick find search. I mean, the UI of the setup and quick find search will be different in Lightning.
Okay, thank you.
Any more
I
questions?
have one. I have one question. When
Yeah.
I go to I created one permission set,
Okay.
a sample. But when I click into that permission set,
Okay.
I don't see what you have there. I start from where it says assign apps and then assign connected apps. But the part that it says permission sets, I don't have that part.
So if I go to permission set,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
click on, if you open any permission set,
Just
you don't find this.
Yes, that's what I have. And then I go to app permissions.
I'm not getting. So you're not able to view this screen. You don't have
Yeah,
these options.
I can see it. I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So watch your doc.
And then I go to manage assignments.
Okay, to add the users, to assign
Uh-huh.
the users, you have to go to manage assignments. But
Okay.
before that, you have to define the access. So you have to define the level of access, that extra access that we are providing in this permission set. Then after that, you have to go to manage assignments and add assignments. Then you can select the user and assign.
Okay. Okay, great.
Any more questions?
Thank you.
And one more thing, the main important thing is by using the permission sets, we can provide extra access, but we cannot restrict the access. So whatever the access that is defined in the profile, so that will be applicable to all the users by default. If we create a profile and if we assign that specific profile to 10 users, let's say, so those 10 users will be able to access all the objects and all the fields that we have defined as a profile. But we can, if we want to provide any extra access, then only we have to create the permission set and define to a specific user. If we have to restrict the access, then we cannot do that using permission set. So we can provide extra access if we want, but we cannot restrict the access whatever we have defined in the profile. If we there are a few cases like I want to restrict the access for a specific user or for 2 users among 10 users. In that case, we have to restrict the access at profile level. So whatever the least access that those 2 users should have. So we have to define that access at the profile level, and we have to create a permission set for the remaining 8 users. And we have to assign that permission set to the 8 users. We have to do that, but we cannot restrict the access in the permission set. Did you all get my point? Guys, any questions on this? So it's very important actually. So we maybe in some exams or in some interviews, so they'll be asking so question like I have 10 users or I have 100 users, and among them I have to remove some access to a specific 2 users or 1 user. How to do? Or they'll ask like, how can we do by using permission set? So they'll ask that. You have to say no, we cannot restrict the access using permission set.
But Murli, I have a quick question. So when you're saying we cannot restrict the access, we just did by muting them, right?
That's muting. That permissions inside group that is newly introduced. So that's why I said that is newly introduced. And we have among group of permission sets, we can restrict the access.
So we actually muted them for any editing or deleting or reading, right?
Yes, yes.
Isn't that restriction? Like
we can restrict in the group. We can restrict in the group, in the permission set group. That too, actually, most of the people don't know this actually. So, but by using the permission set, we cannot restrict the access. But from the group permission set group, so if you open any permission set, you'll not see that muting option here. But when I click on permission set groups, see, you can see the look, the UI also for permission set groups. It is like similar like Lightning. For permission sets, if I click on permission sets, the UI is it's like it's for classic, right? It's for defined for classic. But if I open permission set groups, you can just compare the UI and the font and everything. So it will be different. So it looks like a Lightning, right? So it is newly introduced, and if we open this permission set group, you can see these two options, permission sets in group. So here we have to group the permission sets, and here we have to, we can mute the permission sets. So this is the new one, and we can mute some access only from the group, not from the permission set, individual permission set.
Oh, okay, got it. Thanks.
Any more questions? And most of the people don't know this, so because this is newly introduced. But you have to say by using the permission set, we cannot restrict the access.
So basically, if in an interview, if somebody asks if you can do it from permission sets or not, from permission set we cannot, but for permission set in the groups we can, and
yes,
from profile we can, right?
Yes, from profile we can. So they'll not ask you about profile, but they'll ask you about the permission set. But I'm not sure whether they know about the permission set group or not. So if they know that, that's well and good. If they don't know, then I'm not sure.
Okay.
So you can say by using the permission set, we cannot restrict the access.
Okay.
Any more questions?
No,
I have one question.
Yeah.
When finishing the 6 weeks training, we're gonna be able to pass the exam, the Salesforce exam.
Yes.
And also, okay, great.
Yes, recently there is one more lady. Her name is Rama. I don't remember. Sorry. So she recently passed just given the exam, ADM 201, and she did pass in that exam. So she was part of our last batch. Yes, you can able to pass ADM 201 exam.
And then the interview at a company, then it's also related to questions for a Salesforce admin. I guess pretty much similar to whatever the official Salesforce exam might be.
Yes. What's your exact question? Please.
That if the questions for the interview job are similar
it's not similar like from the exam, so it will be different questions, like just now I said, right? So can we restrict the access by using the permission sets? So that's one question. And can we how to delete a user? They'll ask you a question like this: how to delete a user from Salesforce? You have to say you cannot delete the user, you can inactive the user. So just now I said, right? I said just make this user active, and we can make this user inactive by unchecking this checkbox. So we can do that. We can make the user active or inactive, but we cannot delete the user. So that's one of the important questions. Interview questions.
Okay.
So those two are different actually.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Morley, I have two questions we are talking about in the certification point of view. So the first thing is everybody in the last batch got the certification, and the second thing about the job is everybody got the job, or what's the prospectus look like
I'm
after
not sure about the
certification?
Yes, I'm not sure about the job trials, but one person did the certification. I know that, but I'm not sure about the remaining persons. I know that person did the certification because she informed us.
Okay.
I'm not sure about other people. But we provide everything. We provide the sample, the questions that comes in the exam, and we even so we provide the questions as part of interview process. So we'll provide everything.
Provide for the question answers for the certification point of view as well as for
Yes.
the interview.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Both.
Got it. Okay. Thanks.
Any more questions? So if you don't have any questions, then I'll give you some assignment. Create a custom profile. So if you create a profile, that obviously it will be custom. So we'll create a profile with all the access. Access to the custom object. Okay, here we have to create a profile, and in that profile you should not mention, you should not provide access to the custom object, so that you might have created few custom objects in your Salesforce, all right? So you have to remove the access. You should not provide the access at the profile level, and you have to create a user with Salesforce user license. Salesforce user license and with custom profile. So you have to create a profile first. So just create a profile without access to your custom object, any custom object. So let's say the custom object is A, and here you have to create a user with Salesforce user license and assign this user, assign this profile to this user. And while creating the user, you have to select your custom profile for this user. Okay. And even profile also you have to create with Salesforce license.
Murli, if you don't mind, can you explain the assignment again?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
First of all, you have to create a profile. Go to profile and clone any Salesforce user license profile. So you have to create a profile with Salesforce license. Okay, you have to check this user license. Then you have to clone this profile. You have to clone this profile. So the user license for that profile will also be Salesforce. You have to create a profile, and in the profile, let me open profile. In this profile, go to any custom objects. So here, I don't have access to any custom object. So in this way, you have to create a profile. At least for one custom object, you should not give any access. So you should not, if you have all the access for your custom object in that profile, then just remove the access. And you have to create that profile and assign and create a user. You have to go to user. And here, select the Salesforce user license. I don't have because I just made the user active. So select the Salesforce user license and profile, the profile which you have created. You have to select that profile and create a user. Then you have to create a permission set. Just create a permission set and provide read and edit access on the specific custom object to the custom object. Whatever the for whatever the custom object, you have removed the access at the profile level. So you have to provide that read and edit access in the permission set and assign that permission set to the user. Is everyone clear with this assignment?
Yep.
Okay, just paste. I'm just pasting it in the chart. First of all, you have to create a profile with the Salesforce user license, and you have to remove the access for any specific custom object at the profile level. Then create a user with again Salesforce user license and assign the custom profile which you have created to this user. Then create a permission set and provide the access to your custom object and provide read and edit access to your custom object in the permission set and assign that permission set to the user which you have created. I hope everyone is clear with the assignment. Yeah.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. If you have any questions, you can please ask. Otherwise, we can close for today.
Thank you, Murali. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice day.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.